in order to cite a source, you got to find it first. So what are scholarly sources? How do we find them? Well, there are two different kinds of sources. There are credible sources and scholarly sources. So credible sources, sometimes referred to as a popular source, can refer to articles from newspapers such as the New York Times, government websites such as nyc.gov, or websites of well-respected organizations such as the American Association of Nurse Practitioners. So these are examples of credible or popular sources. These are sources that you can use. They are credible, but they are not scholarly sources. Scholarly sources are different. Often professors will ask you to use specifically scholarly sources, but sometimes they are also referred to as academic sources, or more commonly peer-reviewed sources. So these are all kind of synonymous phrases that get used. For many students, these terms can seem confusing. So let's talk a little bit about what the difference is between this and some of the other popular sources in the previous slide. So what are peer-reviewed sources and how do you find them? If a journal is peer-reviewed, it means that a group of scholars in a particular discipline have inspected the writing and the research closely, and they have agreed that it is suitable to be published in that particular journal. So in other words, a group of scholars working for a particular journal acts like a group of peers or referees who determine if the writing and the research is acceptable by the discipline's standards. So it goes through a different review process than the other kinds of sources that we were looking at, like the New Yorker or .gov websites. So where do we find specifically scholarly sources? Well, most academic journals can be bought, often online, by anyone who's willing to pay the cost, but the prices are usually too costly for most students. Many public libraries and the libraries at most accredited colleges and universities have subscriptions to academic databases where most scholarly journals are housed. So good news is you have access to these things. That means college and graduate students, as well as faculty and staff at a university, have access to thousands of scholarly journals. So this is one of the things that your tuition dollars pay for. So you should take advantage of that access. In order to get access to these journals as a CUNY student, you must go through the library systems database using a search engine called CUNY OneSearch. So I'm going to walk you through how to get there. Students at CUNY School of Professional Studies have access to Baruch College's Newman Library. So in your Blackboard, there's a link provided to the library website. So you'll be able to see in your Blackboard course site, you can see Newman Library up at the top. So you'll click on that. And if it doesn't take you directly to the library's homepage, it'll take you here, where you'll be able to click on a OneSearch link. So any of the OneSearch links. Once you're in OneSearch, type in your search terms. So I've tried searching for articles on nursing and coronavirus. You'll notice that when I put in my search terms here at the top, over 15,000 results came up, which you can see at the circled part right below that in the middle of the page there. 15,000 results is a lot. The sources will be marked about whether they're peer-reviewed or not to let you know, as you can see at the very bottom of the screen there, the little purple eye and the little book. That'll tell you that whether the sources are peer-reviewed or not, but it's going to be really hard for you to scroll through 15,000 results to see which ones you want to use. So in the library, on the right side of the screen, the sidebar will give you options to help limit your search. You can tell it to specifically look for peer-reviewed journals only, and you can tell it to show you articles written during a certain time period. So depending on your topic, this is going to reduce the number of results, sometimes quite significantly. And a lot of disciplines having like a specific date range is also going to be really helpful for you to make sure that the sources are relevant. Being able to search sources that are more recent is sometimes also important for what you're writing. So as you scroll through the list then of the results that are remaining, you can read the titles and click on them, and you can begin to read through and see what might be relevant to your project. Sometimes the articles include abstracts, which can give you a sense of whether or not you should keep reading. Once you've found an article, you can download a PDF or email it to yourself. And there are several tools available in the OneSearch system for this. So making sure that the abstracts, all of these, the title, all of the rest of this information you see down here, that'll help you determine if you want to download it or save it. And then you click on one of those two, and boom, you've got your source. So you found them. Now it's time to cite them.